All right, on to page 2 of our review. We start with find f of g of x. So that can also be written like this, f of g of x, which means I'm taking g of x and putting it into f of x, here and here. So I've got 7 times x squared minus 3 over, and then that x becomes x squared minus 3 minus 6. Okay, here I can distribute, so I get 7x squared minus 21. And here I can combine like terms, so I get x squared minus 9. Okay, so that is f of g of x. Now find the domain of f of g of x. So to do this, I start with the inner function. I find the domain of the inner function, g of x. Okay, now g of x has x under a radical, which means that what's under here has to be greater than or equal to 0. So x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 0, which means x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Okay, step 2, I will find the domain of the outer function, domain of f of x. Okay, so I see a denominator, and a denominator cannot equal 0, so x cannot equal 7. Okay, so when I get reals here, all reals, then I would be done. However, I did not get all reals, so I need to go on to step 3, and I'm going to steal from a couple different spots. So the domain of f of g of x, okay, and I will steal from step 1, g of x. Okay, from step 2, cannot equal 7. Okay, so g of x is here, so the square root of x plus 3 cannot equal 7. So I'm going to solve for x. Square both sides. X plus 3 cannot equal 49. And subtract that 3, x cannot equal 46. Okay, so when I'm finding the domain of f of g of x, my final domain has to satisfy the inner function and this composition. Okay, so I'm using this and this in my domain, the inner function and the composition. So the domain of f of g of x is the set of all x such that x is greater than or equal to negative 3, but x does not equal 46. All right, now we've got a couple of equations to graph here. 5x plus 4y equals 20. Okay, so I can put in a 0 for x, and when I do that, I get 4y is 20. So the y-intercept, 20 divided by 4 is 5. The y-intercept is 5. I could put in a 0 for y, and I get 5y is 20, which means x is 4. So the x-intercept is 4. Okay, now we go down 5 and right 4. I can do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's another point. So there is my line. Okay, number 11, we're given the y-intercept is 3. The slope is negative 2/7, so down 2, right 7, which means I could also go up to left 7. And there is my line for number 11. Number 12, write an equation in slope-intercept form. Here's our slope. Here's a point that this line will go through. I'm going to use point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I've got y minus 12 equals 9x minus 90. And I will add 12. Y equals 9x, and negative 90 plus 12 is negative 78. Okay, here's one that just gives us 2 points. So first I need to find the slope. So that's 9 minus negative 5 over 3 minus 5. Okay, so that gives me 14 over negative 2. Okay, and 14 over negative 2 is negative 7. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a point. I'll pick this one. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I have y minus 9 equals negative 7x plus 21. And then I can add that 9. So I get y equals negative 7x plus 30.